Hi everybody, thank you so much for joining me here today at Re-Ritten Vintage Homestead. It's Sunday and it's a real muggy Sunday. It looks like it's going to rain, but I thought we'd do a little porch sitting Sunday and sit out here while I snap my green beans. It's that time of year. I think I'm one of the few people that loves green beans without the bean. You know, can you guys eat green beans with these beans? I can't do it. So when I make my green beans, when I snap them, I take the beans out too. I know I'm weird, but oh well. I hope everyone's having a great week. It's been a crazy week, hasn't it? And I'm really proud of myself, actually, because I thought before I make a video on what I want to say about, things that have gone on this week, I want to really think about it thoughtfully. And not angrily or not agitated or not argumentatively. I just want to give my opinion in a thoughtful way. So I'm pretty proud of myself. So I hope you guys don't mind if I share. Talk about the obvious first. This new 70-some billion dollar bill that just passed is supposed to help with inflation. I think it's even called the Inflation Reduction Bill. And in that bill, there's a stipulation for like 87,000 new IRS agents. Well, if you do a quick research, I think I talked about this in my last video, you'll see there's only like 600 billionaires in the United States. There's probably more millionaires than that in companies. But if you break down the population, most of America is middle class or lower class. And so, that's who they're coming after. Do you remember the talk? The Treasury Secretary, she wanted to be able to go into your bank accounts and look at all transactions over $600 in and out. Well, the public heard about that and it didn't go over well. So that was kind of tabled quietly. But in the meantime, they did pass that, like if you sell on eBay, Facebook Marketplace, things like that, eBay will send you a tax form if you sell anything over $600 or amounts up to $600, and you have to file it on your tax. So, and so that's coming to, for like Facebook Marketplace, garage sales, auctions, all of that kind of thing. They're going to be keeping an eye on you, middle class America, and you, lower class America. All right, well, I've vented about that, enough. And so this week then, too, former President Trump's house was raided. And yes, it was raided, and it was raided when he wasn't home. I was very glad to see that it was really bipartisan, the response that I was seeing on the news. A lot of newscasters were saying, wow, they have to really have a good excuse for doing this. This has never, ever happened in our American history. But we've never seen a president really hounded like we have former President Trump, have we? For many years, they've been, and they're still doing it right now, investigating his tax returns. They haven't found anything yet. Now, he was president for 4 years. When he was running, they were investigating it, so that was 2 years. And they're still investigating it, and they haven't found anything. But they're still looking. And he has been out of office now for 18 months. And, the president is allowed to take things with him when he leaves. He can declassify those things whenever he wants to. But the president, I did a little investigating, does not pack up his own papers. I mean, those are packed up for him. And so anyway, the possibility of something being planted in there you know, could have been done very easily. And of course, the possibility that something could have been planted in there at his home is really not far-fetched, because they were actually at his home in the whole month of June going through his records for National Archives. And actually, President Trump came in and talked to the agents and visited with them. And hey, if there's anything you need, I'm happy to get it for you. Just let me know. And they were going through everything. They had the whole Mar-a-Lago they could have searched if they wanted to, and they actually were. But that wasn't enough. Attorney General Garland, you know, he was getting a lot of pressure. What's this about? What's this about? So he finally came out and said, hey, I approve this. We have reason, and those reasons will come out. Well, as you know, those reasons always do come out because they're leaked. And the leaks that have been coming out have been saying nuclear documents is what they were after. Nuclear documents. Now, first of all, you have a president who's been out of office 18 months, and if these really were classified nuclear documents, then what's that say about our Justice Department if it took them 18 months to figure out they were missing? I mean, come on, folks. Those could have been sold to China by now. So I found that funny. Secondly, President Trump and his lawyers have said that everything that he had was declassified before he left. And therefore, it wasn't classified information. So what do I think this is really about? Well, I don't know about you, but I'll share. So the Republican National Committee met last month and basically took a poll out of everyone that might run, and they had given names. Ron DeSantis and former President Trump and you know, other senators, other congressmen. Who would you like to see be the front runner? Who would you like to see be the Republican candidate for the President of the United States in 2024? And former President Trump steamrolled everybody, even Ron DeSantis, by over 60%. And we love Ron, right? They also have a young Republicans group. So these are people that are, you know, under the age of 30. And they had their convention. They asked them the same thing. Who would you like to see run in 2024? And overwhelmingly, it was former President Trump. So that's something to fear. Former President Trump is feared by the establishment. And I don't mean just Democrats and liberals. I mean Republicans too. The swamp. The ones that have been in there forever and held these jobs forever and power forever. And one of these establishments is the FBI. President Trump has said if he would run, if he would get reelected, the FBI would be cleaned out. So there's a threat there. A threat there to them. There's a threat to all of these people that have had career politicians who have made themselves millionaires on congressmen and senators' salaries. And, you know, how do you explain that? He ran the first time under the premise of drain the swamp, right? And he did somewhat. He did somewhat, but not as aggressively as he really should have. And I think a lot of people are holding out hope that the second time around he'll be true to his word and the corruptness is going to stop. And these people that have been in there for years and have been doing corrupt things and emboldening China and weakening the United States, they're gone. They're gone, no matter who put them in office. Now, this Merrick Garland, who is our Attorney General, he was nominated by President Obama to be on the Supreme Court. Thank you, Jesus. He did not make it because President Trump withdrew his nomination. Now, you don't think there's some retaliation there? Yeah, that's probably one of the reasons too. The two biggest reasons, in my opinion, I think that this even happened, actually there would be three, now that I think about it. Number one would be, even if there is nothing illegal that happened, that President Trump did in taking documents, it gives the appearance that something was illegal, right? And how do you fight a negative if you can't prove it? So just like with the Russian collusion and the Russian hoax, that the United States citizens paid millions of dollars to investigate. You and I paid for this, to investigate, and they found out that it was actually a hoax committed by Hillary Clinton's campaign and attorneys, and she was in on it and knew about it. And the Democratic committee, presidential committee, they were all in on it. What's been done to those people? Not a damn thing. Not a damn thing. And it went on through his whole presidency that they were investigating Russian collusion. Russia. Right? So it gave the appearance that he was involved with Russia, so he was a bad guy. He was a bad guy. And some people that may have been conservative or Republican their whole lives, they may have been afraid of that. And so even if something isn't true, if you can slander another person, you know, it's kind of hard for them to dig their way out. So I think that's one of the reasons. Another reason, I think it's because of the January 6th committee. That's been another Banana Republic hoax that they have been dying to show that President Trump had something to do with the nutcases that decided to go into the Capitol building and walk around. Right? They haven't been able to find anything, guys. They've been looking all this time. They can't find anything. So, hey, let's go take all of his papers, everything. Maybe we'll find something there. The American people are like, okay, you guys have been investigating this now for over a year and a half, and you haven't found anything. They got to find something. So I think that had something to do with it, too. Well, no doubt there would be a big response from his followers in some way. I've heard a lot of radio hosts already saying, don't do anything. That's what they want you to do. They want you to pick up your arms. They want you to protest and become violent so they can call you white supremacists and unhinged and crazy. That's what they're trying to do, is push you into doing something. Now, it's okay for the other side to go burn buildings and police stations and prevent other people from traveling peacefully. But anyone that follows Donald Trump, you guys stay quiet, okay? Just stay quiet, stay cool, because that's what they want you to do. And it is true. That is what they want you to do. So if that would happen, if you saw a response like January 6th, the protests, it would not be beyond the pale for the government to say, we're taking your arms. That's it. We're taking your arms. White supremacy is the biggest threat to the United States. And this is going to be an insurrection. We can't let this man run again. And here we come. Martial law. You don't think so? Sit back and watch. Sit back and watch. Not only that, let's say his followers don't protest. They know they're going to get nowhere with it, right? They see that there's still people that were involved in January 6th that did nothing but go into the House of Representatives building upon the invitation of the FBI. that were holding doors open for them. And they're still in prison in solitary confinement and without representation. So, you know, a lot of people might be leery of doing anything. So what would happen then? Well, we'd have a one-party system, wouldn't we? The man that we wanted to run or wouldn't be able to. So you have a one-party system. Somebody else, of course, would be able to run. Do you think that person would win? I don't know. Depends on how you think the last election went. A government that is controlled by one party is not a government. That's right. They agree. It's not a government. It's a dictatorship. I think that's what bothers me the most. You guys, you can look around and see whether you're Republican or whether you're Democrat. I wouldn't want to see this happening to the Democrats. I don't want to see it happen to the Republicans, because a one-party system, United States can't survive on a one-party system. But the biggest reason and the most obvious with the January 6th committee, with the taxes, with the nuclear documents, it's all about keeping him from running again because they're afraid of him. They're afraid that he will win again. Republicans and Democrats. It's not just the Democrats. Well, the problem with that is, it's like I said before, there's a big following of President Trump, a humongous following for President Trump, of people that absolutely love him and feel that if anyone's going to clean out the country the way it should be, he's the only one that can do it, right? So they're trying to keep him from running. Now, what do you think will happen if they succeed in that? If he's involved in a criminal investigation, he can't run. It would be, you know, against the rules for him to run if he was being accused of something criminal. And I have got the noisiest red-headed woodpecker in my tree who's just raising Cain. Do you hear it? And it's not a red belly, it's a red-headed. So they're beautiful, but they have got the ugliest call. You guys, don't lose hope. Keep working. Keep working. Keep putting food away. Keep trying to save money. I know that's so hard. It's so hard to do with your other responsibilities and bills. But look at your budget and see where you can make some changes and put some money away. And I don't mean put that in the bank. And I don't mean keep it at home either. You guys, it's time to start thinking creatively. I would put nothing past the government these days. And that's kind of what you have to be thinking. Now is such an important time for you to be thinking about your family and yourself and what might come. And you know, in the best case scenario, it won't. In the best case scenario, this is all, you know, going to pass. Everything's going to pass. The fear that we're feeling, the anxiety that we're feeling is going to pass. And the United States of America, as we've always known and loved it, will stay the same. Let's hope so. But in the meantime, you should totally be preparing in any way that you can, putting food away. If you don't have a garden, go to the store and just buy a few things every time. Stock up on water, stock up on pantry staples. And I've got a video coming up on that very soon. Keep reading. You have to be involved. Keep learning what you can. And discuss it with other people, whether they agree with you or not. Because exchange of ideas is still a good thing in this country. Don't shut someone down just because they may not agree with you. They may actually teach you something, and you may actually teach them something as well. So what should we do? What should, let's say you're a Republican or a conservative or an independent, and, you know, this really bothers you. What should you do other than burning down buildings and rioting? Well, we still have the power of the vote. You know, let's hope that's being cleaned up as we speak. The pandemic's over, so maybe there won't be as much mail-in voting. That with mail-in voting, you have such a high probability of corruption. So, you know, let's hope that something will happen there to lessen that. You can still let your voice be heard. That's what I do. I give my opinion. It's my opinion. It's who I am. So it's important to me to give my opinion, and it should be important to you. Are you going to change anybody's mind? Probably not. But you might find some like-minded thinkers, and I know during the pandemic, I would have done anything to talk to some like-minded thinkers, because I felt like the sky was falling and I was all alone. So it helps to find like-minded thinkers. So I recommend when you're snapping beans or doing a tedious job like snapping beans, that you sit down and talk about some current events, because I'm telling you, you're going to rip right through them. I'm almost done. You guys, thanks for porch sitting Sunday with me today. I'm going to cook these green beans. I got a couple cabinets to clean out in the garage. My husband and I have been doing some landscaping. We're trying to encourage more pollinators here to the homestead because they need our help. I think some of you probably have heard that the monarch butterflies have been put on the endangered species list. So if we want our grandkids and our great-grandkids to experience the beauty of monarch butterflies like we have to help out. We have to plant milkweed, we have to plant pollinators, so we've really been trying to expand on that here at the homestead. This is also harvest time. Everything that I can freeze, can, dry, put in something else, I'm doing, and getting ready for winter. And I'm already starting to think about my winter indoor projects that I want to work on. And, you know, it's going to be a couple months for that, but it'll be here before you know it, actually. So keep working, keep being diligent, you guys. Do what you can. Ask for help if you need it from people who know how to do these things. And stay optimistic, too. Do some things that you enjoy. I enjoy snapping beans, really, and sitting outside and listening to the birds and putting food away, and it's one of my favorite things to do besides digging in the dirt. So find what works for you and do those things too. And don't feel guilty if you went on a vacation this year when times are tough, and get back on track and start saving money and start putting away and enjoying life and keeping your eyes open, right? Something else interesting that happened this week was the discovery of polio cases again here in the United States. Now, polio has not been a thing. I mean, we got rid of polio many years ago, and I don't even know if they give polio vaccines anymore because we've gotten rid of it so long ago. But now it's back. Now, where do you think that came from? It probably came from people who are coming in and out of our country illegally, that don't get the health care services that we do, that don't get the preventative services that we have gotten. So you guys, our country's changing. It's changing minute by minute and hour by hour. But hang in there and make your home your refuge, and do some things that you enjoy, and keep working hard.